Holy smokes, what just happened? The market value of cryptocurrencies hit $4 trillion, and right away, things started to drop. We are going to talk about what happened to Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP. Also, Tom Lee has just gathered more than 1 million Ethereum. What does that mean for Ethereum from now on? We'll also talk about what's going on in the crypto market as a whole. All I ask is that you smile at me so I can spread good vibes. It's time to start, so hit that like button hard. XRP is currently worth $3.18 in the morning. As we looked at XRP, it was coming up to the trend line, which is a level of resistance. This is similar to what happened before, right? Remember how XRP went up to the trend line the last time? That was here. We also went through a similar sell-off, right? In the next 12 hours, there was a sell-off of about 5%. And if you look again, we've been through something similar. It went by much faster, but we were still down about 5% or 4.78%. This is the second time that XRP has hit a level of support and backed off. That's a really interesting story. Second time's the charm, right? It could be the third time's a charm. 2 times so far, or 3 times, right? At first, it kind of got better, but then it touched again, and then there was that big sell-off. So maybe the third or fourth time will be the charm. But it happened at the same time as the whole crypto market, reaching more than 4 trillion. But it happened at the same time as the whole crypto market, reaching more than 4 trillion. You can see that it went over 4 trillion for the first time ever. Yes, all the time. Okay. In other words, that was a psychic defense zone. This is because Bitcoin was worth $120,000, of course. So we reached that 4 trillion mark early this morning. And the market has been going down since then. You can see that Bitcoin went over 122,000 and is now back below 120,000. It's interesting that Ethereum also went down, but it had a huge run up right when the stock market opened for business. From what we can tell, a lot of money came in from ETFs, especially Ethereum ETFs, and maybe even from Tom Lee, who will talk about this in a moment. To make matters worse, that caused Ethereum to go up a huge amount. You can see, though, that the rest of the crypto market didn't join in. The market cap of all cryptocurrencies went up, but XRP did not take part. It was the same thing with the S&P 500. It went down, then up for about an hour, and now it's going down again. As tomorrow approaches and the CPI takes place, there are a lot of tricks being played, with some people possibly removing the risk, going into something you don't know, right? We talk about how people sometimes say, okay, I have no chance of knowing what's going to happen because I don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. Of course, not financial advice. Before you decide to spend, you should always do your research. The CPI is something I don't know. It could be higher, smaller, or the same, right? I don't know. I think that only one person at some government office that keeps statistics knows, and that's it. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow because XRP went up after the last CPI. It's very interesting how the market was turned down, but that doesn't mean it will happen again. And Bitcoin has kindly broken back into its daily range from a few weeks ago. In doing so, prices have broken the black dotted decline that has been going on for several weeks. Bitcoin, on the other hand, doesn't accept the high level. If this is rejected again, the price could fall into a decline that lasts for weeks and then be tested again unless the daily calls above the high range happen and start the range breakout from the bottom up. That's cool. It seemed like a lot of people thought Monday morning was the worst, right? Then going on a rise that lasts for several weeks into September. We haven't been like that yet. Why does Ethereum act that way? The market has been pretty weak today, though, except for Ethereum. We'll see how this turns out and how the market responds to the end of trading on the stock market in a few hours. You never know. Maybe people will lower their risk. You can do that if you can trade before the market opens, but sometimes sell-offs happen right before the market opens, and now there's overnight trading. So timing that is a bit tricky. So you'll sometimes see people, taking away risk before the CPI, and that's still a chance that you need to think about. As always, if someone contacts you on social media and asks you to join something or send me money, they are trying to scam you. Be very careful out there. You might have missed this morning's video in which I warned about a hack or scam that I personally experienced. If you missed it, I don't know if the program didn't push it or if it does push it on the weekend and not on Monday. That's the way it is. If you missed that movie, I'll link to it here, or you can find it on the page where you sign up. That way you don't fall for that scam. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you can join the notification country and be the first to know when new videos come out. That way you won't miss any important news. Okay, that was a nice incident for XRP. We're still not back here, but Ethereum options are getting close to all-time highs. There are now 13.75 billion Ethereum open positions, which is the most in over 17 months. The market is likely to go up. Again, we need to be careful with this because 2.8 million were sold off in the last hour, as you can see on the long. Just be very careful. Things can change really quickly, and if you have a lot of debt, things can go wrong. This is where you can see XRP as the fourth thing on the list, right? 600. The whole crypto market cap is now in the price finding stage. We'll see how high we can go. We think we should go higher, but no one knows for sure. It's also interesting that Mayasha Schooling says that during big bull runs, Ethereum usually hits 35% of Bitcoin's market cap. It took place in 17 and 21. Based on how much Bitcoin is worth right now, Ethereum should be around $6,000, which means it is still behind but starting to catch up. And at $150, Ethereum would be worth $8,000. It would be interesting to see if that can make the rest of the market change so that the new money coming in drives an outpoint season, right? So let's not avoid the subject.